Morning, Sunday morning, about 11:15 a.m. and I'm going to head into central London on the bike today. I always feel it's like an extra freebie. We know cycling's free anyway, but cycling into London feels extra special because if I was to drive, I'd have to pay for either electric or fuel, parking and congestion charge. Even if I go by train, it's about a £12 return ticket, I think. And that's just to Victoria. And then if I want to kind of go around, then I'd have to get a travel card. So yeah, extra special kind of freebie into London, go and do a bit of tourist sightseeing and yeah, enjoy the ride. It's about 8 degrees, so warmer than it has been. It's supposed to be cloudy and dry, but I can see out of my window the sun making an effort to poke through, so it should be a nice ride. And yeah, just get some extra pedaling. Let's get there as quick as we can, shall we? made it to Hyde Park. Probably about an hour, I think. Yeah, about an hour. Just fairly easy riding. But I was just thinking of what an amazing sense of freedom it is to be able to ride into central London for free and just do the tourist thing. And today's quite mild, so I think it's probably about 10 degrees now. I'm actually feeling a bit hot in the winter gear, but just what a great day. Almost didn't come because I had a few things to do at home, but made a promise to myself to do half of them before I left home and the other half when I get back. So yeah, I'm going to just enjoy the little touristy bit, I think. I just hope that people maybe look up because I'm riding towards someone. Look up! There's a dad helping his kid roller skate, but both of them just looking at the floor rather than looking at what's in front of them. And I'm riding on the left, but I guess if you're from Europe or most of the world, they probably think I'm on the wrong side of the road, so I've got to be careful. Oops. I've got this weird boom bar thing. I'll probably list the name of it, so I'm going to see how I get on with this, but it's going to look really weird. A big elbow L-shaped thing on the bike, but it just helps so that I'm not holding the camera for recording forward or backward, so I can concentrate. But I'm going to spin the camera around in a sec and just capture some of what I'm seeing so I can look back at it later. So many people out having a good time today. Excellent. That's another thing I think we take for granted. The London parks and just areas that families and friends can enjoy together for free when so much costs, well, cost of living is so much, should I say. Some of these free things, just take advantage.
Bicycle.
must say the cycling infrastructure in London is improving all the time. It's another thing that I'm really grateful for. Just thinking, I don't know how much those bikes are to hire, but I'm pretty sure they're fairly cheap. So if you don't own a bike and you want to cycle around London, one of those cycle hire things will be pretty good. And some of them are electric as well if you want to ease up on the effort a bit. I think the non-electric ones are probably really heavy. I did ride a Boris bike way back when, but can't remember much about it, to be fair. So I think I'm going to start heading home now. Keep that kind of short and sweet today. Well, a couple of hours anyway. So a nice little trip to London for free on a nice dry Sunday afternoon. Feeling pretty stoked about that. I used to work around this area. Very different trying to drive during the week, but even cycling during the week I think is pretty easy to do with all the cycling lanes that are now available. I'll probably video one another time actually. I'll come in during the week, see what it's like, because it's probably been a few years since I've done my commute into work in London before I changed jobs, so a lot's changed. home now. I'm going to turn around. I'm hoping this is two-way. It's saying one way for cars, but my Apple Maps is saying I can go this way. So we'll see. If anyone looks cheesed off, you'll know why. Now they'll probably look a bit dark. I don't know how to do the settings on this camera very well, so it tends to wash out a bit. So yeah, this my maps are sending me down all the one-way streets. Oh, it's saying walk. Oh, that's why. Well, I'll kind of walk the bike around carefully. Oh, there's a car facing the wrong way, so... Oh no, this is now looking like I'm going the right way again. A bit confusing. That was a really nice ride, that was. Love seeing London from a bike. Come out of Victoria Square. Okay, let's navigate the buses. It's saying go straight, so it's going to be a bit busy here, so I probably should put my glasses back on, protect my eyes, and temporary lights, or the lights are out should I say, yeah, and concentrate on the route. Spin the camera around again, I think. Otherwise there's going to be the look of panic as people pull out in front of me. I'll probably catch you at the end anyway. I'm going to just let the battery run out and see how far it takes me. they're doing. can't predict it. hate stopping on an incline. Stop and get some energy. I did actually bring out a spare battery with me, but I've got 7% left on this, so this is probably the first time I've used the new GoPro. Changed from the 8 to the 13, so a bit of a leap. First thing I've noticed is battery life. I probably would have been on my 3rd battery on the old one by now, and I only got one good battery with it, left. 2 have failed. But I haven't eaten much today because I wanted to get out. So
keep going, Preston. That's it. Well done.
A couple of these will do the trip. Get me home anyway.
Because me and Holly can't go
Got my glove. But yeah, those chewy things, you wouldn't think they'd work. They definitely give you a boost. Right, let's see how far 7% battery can get me. dog giving me a heart attack. I love how clumsy dogs are. I should have gone down there. Oh. Pay attention, Chris. Thank heavens for gravel tyres when I need to do that. So this is where the battery runs out, and I decided to put the new battery in and carry on recording, but because this has got so long, this is going to be double speed for the last section. So if you're still here, amazing, congratulations for being so tenacious, and thank you. I do feel very at home cycling around South London. I grew up in Tooting, so I know these roads very well, and because I've been cycling most of my life as well, I know them on the bike as well as by car. There's that amazing coffee van that saved my life a few days ago when it was really cold and I needed a hot chocolate to warm up my hands just to carry on the ride. But today I didn't need it. In fact, I needed the loo, so I'm just trying to cycle home as quick as I can. Again, I can't emphasise how much I love these shared walkways where you can walk and cycle, and just no cars, but just sharing these little paths with pedestrians, other cyclists and runners. Such good fun. And crazy dogs. Don't forget the crazy dogs. There's always one that's going to jump out at me and nearly take me off my bike. I think I'm laughing at one point at how clumsy dogs are. It really did feel like there was a lot of people out today, a lot of people on their bikes, a lot of joggers, a lot of families out. So I think that little break in the weather just gave everyone the opportunity to have a really good time, get out the house, get moving and just enjoying the day. Didn't mean to end up on the pavement there, but following Apple Maps just makes it a bit more interesting, especially when you put cycling in. But unfortunately, this bit here, I turned this corner and was just like, oh God, look at that mud. And I have just changed my tyres, so I keep going on about these Panaracer Gravel King tyres, which are only 30mm, so quite narrow because I am mostly on the road. But the little knobbly bits just got through this horrendous mud somehow. And I did wheel spin a little bit, but I was really quite impressed with how they coped. Yeah, they just did it really. The mud guards thankfully saved me from being splattered by mud, and the bike did need a good wash when I got back, but it just did its job. Those tyres just did their job. I think they're brilliant for on and off road, even though they're only 30mm. So not gravel, definitely mud, but they did the trick anyway. Suddenly see this tree just dead in the middle of the path. I'm looking at it going, can I get through it? And then I figure out I can, and I just kind of weave through it, duck my head a bit, and worked it out. It must have blown down in one of the storms. Apart from how muddy the previous bit was, this is still really nice to be able to kind of ride through these parks and not do the whole journey on road. Again, I keep going on about how lucky we are, but we do have so many parks and open spaces in London, in such a dense city. We still have those spaces where we can feel like we've got more room. We're not kind of all crammed in. Another little bit on Apple Maps which takes me kind of across a pavement, not quite sure why. But yeah, I do like the cycling part of Apple Maps. I don't know if any of those bike computers, I don't know if like Wahoo have specific off-road routes as part of their mapping, but if anyone uses a Wahoo, let me know in the comments please. Now I'm thinking of getting a bike computer, which is why I mentioned Wahoo a while ago, because at the moment I'm just using my phone with a power bank, and that's absolutely fine because I left home with 100% and came home with 100% after being out for nearly 3 hours. So that's fine, but when it isn't fine is when it's raining and the phone suddenly kind of flips out because it's got a USB in it. So I think I do need like a Wahoo or a Garmin or some other brand, but I need the navigation to be as good as it is on Apple Maps. So if anyone can tell me by real life or real life use, that would be great. Or even at double speed, those lights seem to take forever to change. By this point, I was getting quite hungry and I still needed to use the loo, but I didn't want to stop and try and find a pub and get someone to look after the bike just to have a wee. So I thought, oh, I can hold that. But yeah, being hungry and needing the loo, I think I was actually cycling quite fast by this point. From this bit to home is actually the last bit where I feel like I'm already home, because this is part of my commute that I used to do before lockdown in my old job. This was my route home, so I kind of remember this quite fondly and it feels like I'm already kind of almost home at this point. But yeah, I used to do that ride nearly every day. Great way to unwind after a stressful day's work. have your wits about you driving on the road or riding on the road in London. And I remember talking to colleagues at work that started cycling to commute as well, and they found it really hard, and I think it's because they weren't used to it or they weren't accustomed to it, whereas I guess I grew up riding bikes and I grew up in London, so I kind of have that sixth sense about people pulling out. And I think you just got to be very assertive as well. You've got to kind of ride and make sure people can see where you are in the lane, and at roundabouts and junctions I think you've got to be quite assertive, but also very, very cautious and very tuned into what other people are doing. Expect people to do silly things like walk out from behind a bus or you know, not use their wing mirrors, so that you're always riding quite defensively as well as assertively. I always recommend putting your lights on even in daylight as well, and also if you're commuting, just wearing a high vis or part of a high vis, even if it's just one of those straps. It's something quite reflective to give you another chance to be seen. This bit of bike lane, for some reason, is always really dirty and muddy and slippery. I don't know if it's just the way the rain doesn't drain away, but I wish they'd do something about it. You've got to be careful around this part. I don't know why, but I go through these parts quite a lot, and this bit of Croydon has got the worst drivers ever. I don't know if they're all just sent here, all the ones that are really crap drivers are just sent to this part of Croydon just to kind of do U-turns and just go up and down and be pains in the backside. But yeah, joking aside, no, you always see something silly going on down here. Can't explain why, but it happens. Now we're going to be hitting the pedestrian bit soon, and this part of Croydon, when we get onto it, is for pedestrians and for cyclists, and cars do go down there to do deliveries and that sort of thing as well. And I walk down here quite a lot, and on one of the walks that on one of the videos I made was walking around here, but it does amaze me. And it's amplified when you're on the bike. So I'm quite considerate on the bike. I'm in a very low gear and I can just stop and change direction really easily. So I'm going at a pace that is not going to shock anyone. I know some cyclists, especially the Uber Eats or Deliveroo cyclists, go down here at breakneck speed, but I go quite carefully. But what I do notice while I'm on the bike more than in the car is how many people don't actually look up from their phones when they're walking. So that's one thing. And also people that just sort of change direction and go across, even though this is a pedestrianised road, it is still a road, but people just sort of like walk across without looking or keep just staring at their phones. The little bike lanes from here on for a short period are quite good, even though you do get people just walking in them. They don't really pay attention to them being bike lanes, but they are quite handy. I definitely have unconsciously sped up my cycling as I've got nearly home now, and I'm getting closer and closer to that loo break. And promise of food, of course. Well, that was a great way to spend my 2 hours 42. Lucky miss me. Every time I go out, she thinks I've abandoned her. But yeah, 2 hours 42. Great ride around Hyde Park and just sort of riding around the roads of Victoria and all the little paths on the way there and on the way back just made it really, really enjoyable. Very lucky with the weather today. So massive difference between, I think today was between 8 and 10 degrees, and the other rides I've done this year have been between 2 and 6 degrees. And under 6 degrees, I've mentioned before, I find it really hard to keep my hands and feet warm enough. But today felt perfect. If anything, a little bit warm because I'm more than waterproof, just in case it rained. But also as a bit of a windbreaker. And yeah, so definitely didn't get cold. Most of the time I was at a fine temperature, and yeah, all good. So it's still quite early. It's still about 2:45 in the afternoon, so I've still got enough time to get the rest of my chores done. But I feel mentally strong after that ride. Physically tired because I don't do any indoor training at the moment. So if in the winter, I guess I ride less, so my stamina's less. Goes up and down seasonally, but I'm doing other training, so kind of maintaining a level of fitness, which is all right. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to jump on and record a couple of other bits later on today, so look out for those. In fact, if you've made it this far, you've watched a lot. Thank you.